And the winner of the 2023-2024 La Liga will be... Hi guys, how's it going? It's the start of the 2023-2024 La Liga season, and in this episode we are going to predict the whole table. Disclaimer, I'm no expert, I just love football and Barca, so I watch La Liga a lot. So these predictions are based on my football knowledge, and at the end of the season we are going to see if my football knowledge is trash or not. Before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of my Barca related content. Okay, let's start at the bottom. The worst of the whole league, shouldn't even be in the La Liga, should be relegated immediately. On rock bottom we have Alavés. They became 4th in the Segunda Division last season and barely beat Levante in the playoffs for the La Liga. They bought some new players, but I don't think it will be enough to stay in La Liga. And that's why they will become last. Back to the Segunda for you guys. On number 19 we have Almeria. Almeria stayed up with 1 point above Valladolid last season, but throughout the season they didn't impress much. It was a miracle that they stayed up, but it was actually really close at the bottom in the last year. Yeah, so I do think Almeria will relegate. They just don't have the quality it takes to remain in the La Liga. Las Palmas on number 18. Yes, I also think Las Palmas will relegate even after promoting to the La Liga this year. They finished 2nd in the Segunda Division last season and made some decent signings with both Sandro and Munir, which are both old Barcelona players. But I still think the gap between teams such as Las Palmas, Alavés and Almeria are too big with the other teams in the La Liga. And that's why they are ending on number 18. On number 17, Granada. Granada became 1st in the Segunda Division last year, and I give them a good chance to stay in the La Liga this year. They made some cheap and decent signings, and thereby I think they are better than the former 3 teams. Although it will be difficult for them to stay up. It's always a tough ground at Granada. This can cause for big surprises against bigger teams. Cadiz on number 16, and to be honest, in this region I'm not completely sure anymore. I've seen them play live last year, and to be honest, they didn't impress me much. They didn't make amazing signings, so I think they will have to fight to stay in. But I also believe they can get easily relegated as well. Getafe on number 15. And Getafe is a really strange team. It's the first opponent of Barca this season, but I always feel like this team is a pain in the ass to play against. They play strong and defensive, and they bought Portus from Real Sociedad, who always played decent in what I've seen from him. So I do think Getafe will stay in as they usually do, and again on number 15, just like last year. Mallorca on number 15. Mallorca became 9th last season, which is actually really good. They bought some players, but they also sold some. So my pick is that they end somewhere in the middle, and they ended on number 14. They don't have a stadium where opponents feel intimidated, so that won't help, but they do have the quality to stay in the La Liga with ease. Valencia, 13th. Through the entirety of last season, it wasn't even sure if they would stay in the league. And it's super weird to say that about a team such as Valencia. I believe this year will be their recovery season. They won't get in trouble that much, but they won't perform amazing either. I've seen them play twice last season, and to be completely honest, they impressed me on both occasions. They won at home against Real Sociedad and they lost against Barca at the Camp Nou, but they made it really hard for us. Girona, number 12. Last season Girona ended 10th and they made some good signings this summer. However, they lost Oriol Romeu to Barca, who was a key player for Girona. I think they will perform similar to last year, however other teams have improved, so I believe Girona will end on number 12. Rayo Vallecano, number 11. And this team is just always there, aren't they? Strong, defensive and a tough ground to play against, and they always score points against the bigger teams. Barca didn't even win against them last season. There are better teams though, so they will end up somewhere in the middle. On number 10 we have Celta de Vigo, and they actually had a really disappointing season last year. But I guess they can bounce back and become 10th. It's also a team that's just always there. They don't belong in the top, but somewhere in the middle is alright. On number 9, Villarreal. I would have put them higher based on last season, but they actually sold a lot of good players. And thereby they will end somewhere in the middle as well. They did buy Sorloth from Leipzig and Dennis Suarez. But I think it won't be enough to compete with the top teams. Osasuna, number 8. Another example of a team that's difficult to play against. They haven't bought or sold many players, but Abde, who was one of their best players last season, returned to Barca. So they will miss him, of course. They played the Copa del Rey final last year but lost against Real Madrid. They will be playing in the Supercopa this season. It's a good team, but they are not equal to the top teams in this league. On number 7 we have Real Betis. And Real Betis is one of the better teams, but never in top 4. They bought some great players with Bellerin, Perez, Bartra and Collado, but they also lost Canales, which was an important player for them. This team has more quality than the former ones, but playing in the Europa League will cause some fatigue. And that's why they are ending on number 7 and will qualify for the Conference League. Atletico Bilbao, number 6. And yeah, these are the big boys in the league. Atletico Bilbao belongs to the top teams in the league and it's always difficult to play against them. Did you know Atletico Bilbao along with Barca and Real Madrid are the only 3 teams that have never been relegated from the La Liga? Yeah, do with that information what you will. And they won't this season, they will end on number 6 and qualify for the Europa League. Real Sociedad on number 5. Last season they became 4th, but they sold some players and didn't buy much back. But I still think this team has the same quality as last year. And they showed it. They won against Real Betis in the preseason and drew against Atletico Madrid. And I think they will become 5th because they're slightly better than Atletico Bilbao. And this is what you guys have been waiting for. We have arrived at the top 4. And on number 4 we have Sevilla. Winning the Europa League saved Sevilla's season last year because they had a really bad season at the start. They will also play against Manchester City for the UEFA Super Cup, so I'm excited to see how they perform. They will also play Champions League football, which will help and improve their game even more. Real Madrid on number 3. And you're saying, what? Real Madrid on 3? And no. They made some great signings, but I feel like this team is missing something. They are missing a player such as Benzema or Ramos, a player that can carry the team when nothing is working. I believe they have the best team in La Liga this season, but they won't win it. Both Atletico Madrid and Barcelona will perform better this season because they are willing to fight for it and they also have really good players. They didn't have a good preseason either. They lost 3-0 against Barcelona, and if that's a forecast, things aren't looking good for Real Madrid. Atletico Madrid, 2nd. I do think they have a great team and they will fight for it. However, I don't see them beating Barcelona as they didn't do last season and they will miss fundamental points because of that. But I do believe it will become really close this year, closer than last year. Atletico Madrid ended 3rd last season, only 1 point below Real Madrid, and that makes me believe they will become 2nd this year. And yes, the winner of the 2023-2024 La Liga season will be FC Barcelona, of course. I do think they will have some trouble at the start with adapting to the new stadium, and they also have 3 difficult away matches in the first 4 games. Although this team under Xavi will have its best season yet. Their main goal is to win the Champions League, but to win the Champions League you have to win La Liga, and we're doing that. We're winning it back to back. This team has so many good players and I don't see them losing against either Real Madrid or Atletico. The only reason this team won't win La Liga is because they messed up themselves. So yeah, there you have it. Barca will become the La Liga champions again. You heard it here first. You don't even have to watch the games anymore, it's done. So this is my prediction for the 2023-2024 La Liga season. Let me know in the comments down below what you think and if you agree or not. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, leave a like on the video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.